Abortion. It's the only word you can say to telemarketers that will guarantee they hang up on you. The abortion debate in America is always simmering. But over the past couple of months, it started to boil yet again.
Tonight, the House passing a bill aiming to guarantee a woman's right to choose. It's an attempt to establish a federal protection for choice as states approve strict new limits, including Texas, where nearly all abortions have ended. It is unlikely to pass the Senate.
Yeah, of course it's unlikely to pass in the Senate. Nothing passes in the Senate. The Senate is more backed up than me on an aggressive course of antibiotics. And no, I will not get those probiotics. It's a scam. Why would you get the pro of the anti? If you're doing the anti, you don't want the pro. What do you mean that's not how it works? Then why do they call it that? Well, then just say like extra biotics or... Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. So if this vote stands no chance of passing the Senate, why did Democrats do it? Well, it was basically a symbolic response to Texas's new extreme abortion law, which effectively bans abortion after 6 weeks, which, just so you understand, is oftentimes before many women even know they're pregnant. And unlike the House vote, that Texas law isn't symbolic. It is having very real consequences.
The fallout from the new anti-abortion law in Texas has been swift and for some women devastating.
Abortion providers in Texas have started turning away patients.
70% of the people seeking abortion care last week were turned away.
This morning, a Texas doctor who admits defying the state's new abortion law is now facing 2 lawsuits, which are the first known challenges under the constitutional law.
It's not just providers. Anyone who finances, counsels, or transports patients can be sued for $10,000 or more. We're here at a Planned Parenthood clinic. I had to get here this morning from my hotel. I tried Uber, I tried Lyft. The ride was canceled 3 times. Finally, I changed it to the address instead of Planned Parenthood, and I was able to get a ride. But that just shows you the fear that this is spurring and the impact of this law.
Wow. Women can't even get an Uber to the abortion clinic. That is insane and so horrible. And it must be pretty upsetting for the restaurant next door that all the women are pretending to get rides to. Yeehaw! Slice the cornbread, boys. We got someone coming in for some barbecue. Oh, no, wait. She just isn't ready to be a mommy. False alarm. But I get it. Uber drivers don't want to get sued for where they drop someone off. I mean, if I was an Uber driver in Texas, I wouldn't even drop couples off after the club. I'd be like, no, you get off here, she's going home. I will not be responsible for what happens next. I mean, this law is terrifying when you think about it, because now practically anyone can be sued for being involved in an abortion in any way. Doctors can be sued, nurses can be sued, even Uber drivers. I mean, shit, Frank Ocean better watch out, because half the time it's his album that's playing during the moment of conception. And now, obviously, the whole point of extreme abortion laws like Texas's is to, stop abortions. So it may be surprising to learn that they actually don't. And we'll tell you what actually happens when abortion is outlawed in another installment of If You Don't Know, Now You Know. So, what happens when a state bans abortions? Do women suddenly go, well, if the state legislature wants me to have this baby, who am I to say no? No, they don't. Instead, many women who want an abortion will be forced to go find one where it is legal.
What we know is when you ban abortion, it doesn't mean that people stop needing access and that people won't go to more lengths to get the care that they need.
Clinics in less restrictive neighboring states have been inundated with phone calls from Texas women seeking services.
Comprehensive Women's Health has been inundated with calls from women who live in Texas but want to come here, even though it's located hundreds of miles from Texas, in Denver, Colorado. And it's not just Colorado seeing an increase. Even with a 24-hour waiting period, this Shreveport, Louisiana clinic is booked at least 3 weeks out.
What could happen is that more women may decide to travel to Mexico. What is like kind of the opposite what it used to happen. Like a lot of women used to travel to the U.S. to have a safe and legal abortion.
People, this is despicable. You shouldn't have to cross state lines to get a simple medical procedure performed. I mean, that's something people do when they're running from the law because they like, I don't know, kidnap their ex's puppy after she refused to give them visitation rights. Just because we broke up doesn't mean I don't get to see Fluffy, Cassandra. The dog's name is Fluffy Cassandra. And forget going to another state. People might have to go to Mexico for an abortion, which means not only do you have to travel to Mexico to get essential health care, now you also have to bring back souvenirs for your coworkers. And it also sucks for the Mexican doctors, because they constantly have to hear Americans asking them, "Por favor, una aborción en la biblioteca?" And I know right now you might be saying, so what? These women got to take an abortion road trip. What's the big problem? Well, the big problem is that, like most American laws, this one disproportionately affects the poor.
You know, if you're a wealthy woman and you're living in Texas, you can get on a plane, you can fly outside the state, you may have other options, but if you're a poor woman, if you're a woman of color, you won't have those options.
About half of people who are obtaining an abortion already live below the poverty level. So when someone is already struggling financially and they are denied care, it puts them in an even tougher economic situation.
Yeah, for many poor women, just leaving the state is not an option, especially when that state is Texas. Have you seen Texas? It goes on forever. It's the IKEA of states. And many anti-abortion advocates are arguing that if you make abortion harder, it'll make these women rethink the decision and decide to have the baby. But if you look back at what actually happened the last time abortion was illegal, you find that when women are stuck between a rock and a hard place, they take matters into their own hands.
The illegal termination of pregnancy has reached epidemic proportions in this country. The laws which govern abortion are broken an estimated 1 million times a year, 3,000 times a day. For various medical, social, and economic reasons, the laws do not recognize as valid. The facts are astonishing. 350,000 women a year suffer complications.
The operation was performed in the kitchen of the motel using some of the kitchen equipment, using the telephone book and chairs.
Okay, I know that looks ancient because it's in black and white and square, but that wasn't actually that long ago. The last time abortion was outlawed in America, hundreds of thousands of women suffered complications each year, with hundreds dying. And yes, it is true, medicine has improved a lot since then. I mean, nowadays, if you want an abortion in secret, there's a pill you can take in the privacy of your own home, which is safer and easier than those old methods. But guess what? Texas just banned that too. So these supposedly pro-life laws are actually going to end up hurting a lot of women and probably killing some of them, which is especially tragic because if pro-life lawmakers want to reduce abortions, there are so many other ways that they could do that by supporting women instead of harming them. I mean, they could increase access to contraception. They could make it easier to raise children with better access to childcare and education and healthcare. They could make it so that every kid comes with an iPad. Yeah, so even if you don't like your kid, at least you got an iPad. The point is that they don't want to do any of that. They just want to say, no abortions, problem solved. But that approach isn't going to end abortions. All it's going to do is move them somewhere else or make them more dangerous.